Hello students, my name is Sangita. I'm a TGT English from PIS Ahmedabad. Today I'm here with this tutorial for Standard 10th to cover a topic named Subject Verb Conquered. But before I commence my class, a very popular saying by Artemis Ward is coming to my mind. Why care for grammar as long as we are good? Absolutely is correct. Why to care about grammar? There is nothing to worry about grammar, right? But only if we are good. But it's a point to think about, are we genuinely good in that? Well, that can be possible. That can really be possible if we practice, if we rehearse, if we dedicate our time for that. So in today's session, I'll help you to learn, relearn, revise and recapitulate those things with a proper understanding and a grip on the topic subject verb conquered. I have certain elements added in this learning tutorial that is called Did You Know segments, like auxiliary verbs, modal verbs, indefinite pronoun. There are certain terminologies which are associated with the subject verb conquered, how to use them, when to use them. So in between, keep watching these pop-out segments which talks about did you know. I've named them as did you know segments. So keep watching, keep learning. Let's start. Now, the first and the foremost thing you can see here, subject verb conquered. First person singular number. We all know first person singular number is I. The second person singular number is you. The third person singular number is he, she, it. Now here, first person singular number, second person singular number. Now they are exception to the rules. Why? I play cricket. You love to dance. I will never say I plays cricket and you loves to learn or dance. Because even though the subject is first person singular number or second person singular number, they carry a plural verb along with them. That is why we call it as an exception to the rule. Otherwise, always remember one thing, the subject should always match with the verb. If the subject is singular, the verb will be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb will be plural. That's the basic idea. Now let's proceed and see what's there in store for all of you. So first is, what is subject verb conquered? It means that the subject and the verb in a sentence should agree or match. There should be a kind of agreement, or it should be equal, or it should be matching. Otherwise, the sentence will be wrong. That's the first concept. Example, cows eat grass. So you can see here cows, which is plural in number. There are many cows. They eat grass. So with plural number, we have plural verb. Similarly, cow eats grass. Now cow, which is obviously a singular subject, with a singular verb, that is eats grass. Another example is he plays football. I'm talking about one individual who plays football. So which is singular in number. So both singular subject and singular verb. They play football. Now plural subject with plural verb. Example, the frogs are jumping in the pond. Now obviously you can understand that there are many frogs who are jumping in the pond. Now the frog is jumping. I'm talking about one individual frog who is jumping, who is performing the action of jumping in the pond. Now the second rule is when two or more singular subjects are joined by and. For example, there are two names, that is Shyam and Smriti, are singing a duet song. Now there are two individuals. There are more than one subject here. So two different singular subjects, when they are joined or combined or connected, then a plural verb is to be used mandatorily. Now Shyam and Smriti, they are singing a duet song, because two different bodies, two different individual subjects, when coming together, are singing a duet song. 2 and 2 make 4. Now again the same concept is applied here. Now the other rule is when two subjects together express one idea, one concept or one thought, a singular verb is used. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You can very much make out that these are all idiomatic sentences. They are the proverbs, proverbial sentences. All work and no play. If a person is constantly working and there's no play, these kind of actions. Now, it has one idea, all these lines have one idea, and that idea is a singular concept or a singular idea which requires a singular verb. So makes Jack a dull boy. Similarly, time and tide. Now time and tide, they are talking about time which waits for none. Bread and butter. Now obviously bread and butter is a combination of things. You cannot have bread individually, you cannot have butter single-handedly. So it's a combination of food which goes hand in hand. Is her food. Now this blend of bread and butter is her food. Now you can see two different ideas or two different subjects which emotes out one concept, which expresses one concept, uses a singular verb. Slow and steady wins the race. Now slow, anybody who is slow and steady, that means the person is patient enough to win the race. Welcome to my first Did You Know segment. Did you know that auxiliary verbs are the agreeing verbs in a subject-verb concord? Right. Auxiliary verbs are the verbs which has to agree with the subject. Otherwise, it will be an incorrect sentence. Let's see some of the examples. Do, does, which are the present simple tense. Am, is, are, was, were, which is the continuous tense. Has, have, which is the perfect tense, right? Let's see quickly some of the examples. The goats don't want it. The goat doesn't want it. Another example, we are going to the party. He is going to the party. Raj has been driving. Raj and Riddhi have been driving. Now, this is the first Did You Know segment. Wait till I catch you for the next Did You Know segment. Okay, now we are here with another rule, that is when two or more singular subjects are connected by or, nor, either or, neither nor, they take a verb in singular form. Either my sister or my aunt has the house key. Now see, here we are giving options. Whenever things are optional, you will be using a singular verb. There are certain terminologies like either or, neither nor, words like each, every. Now these are certain terms which are patented to be used with a singular verb. So neither you nor your friend was present in the party. We are giving a comparison. Neither you nor your friend was present in the party. Nachiket or Nishant has made this kite. Now either of these two individuals has made the kite. But when there are two subjects joined by neither, nor, or either, or, the verb agrees in person with the subject nearest to it. Now I would request all of you to please focus on the point. If the verb agrees in person with the subject nearest to it, when the verb is nearest to the subject. Example, either Shritama or her friends were going to be there at the fair. Now you can see either Shritama or her friends. The word friends, which is the plural subject here, were going. Now you can see the verb to be plural, were going to be there at the fair. Similarly, exact the reverse of that is there in the other example, that is neither her friends nor Shritama was happy. Neither her friends, now you can see the plural number coming at the beginning with neither, nor Shritama. Now Shritama is the nearest to the verb and Shritama is a singular subject, so we are using the singular verb. I hope this is clear. Okay, now when two nouns are qualified by each and every, as I already have mentioned in the previous slide, it will require a singular verb even though connected by and. Now every boy and girl was given a chocolate on Children's Day. You can understand very clearly when every boy and every girl was given a chocolate. Now we are not talking about the boy fraternity or the girl fraternity. We are talking about each and every child of the class was given a chocolate. I hope you can understand with that. So two nouns qualified by each and every, when there are two or more than two nouns which are qualified by each and every, we will be using the singular verb. Each man and woman was asked to contribute to the fund. Now again the same concept, as I have already mentioned, that each and every are certain terminologies which goes with the singular verb. Every light and every pole was painted by the men. You can see the action is performed by different people, that is men, not one particular person but many. So that's it. Now a plural noun, which is the name of a country or province or the title of the books, followed by a singular verb. Now this is a plural noun. At times what it happens, the noun itself is plural, like we have terminologies like mathematics, physics, news, words like news. So they themselves stands plural. So here we are also talking about a country or a province. So the United States is a large country. So the United States of America is a large country. Like India is a huge country with amazing people. Okay, similarly, The Stormy Nights, it's a book. The Stormy Nights, it's not nights, is my favorite book. The name of the book itself is Stormy Nights, so it has to be the singular subject will carry a singular verb. Did you know what's the role of modal auxiliaries in subject-verb concord? If yes, it's a thumbs up. If no, then come on, let's see. Subject-verb agreement plays an integral part in modal auxiliary verbs. What are modals? Modals are the helping verbs which help the main verb to stand strong. May, might, can, could, shall, should, will, would, must. These are the basic modal auxiliaries which I've taken here. Now they help the main verb, they assist the main verb to give a proper meaning, to convey a proper meaning. Now, but the rules for these modals are totally different in subject-verb concord. The verb following a modal is never in S form. Let's see some of the examples. The verb following a particular modal is never in S form. It's again depending upon the singular and the plural form. You should come. He should comes. I've cut the S for you just to notify that here should is the modal verb and come is the verb here, which is exactly after the modal verb. So he is the singular subject which is associated with the plural verb. Another example, my friends might come and my friend might comes. Again cut the S just to correct the sentence, my friend come. My friend might come. Catch you in the last Did You Know segment. Now, a collective noun generally takes a singular verb. Now, when we are talking about collective noun, it's a gatheration, it's a mob, the crowd I'm talking about, the committee, the jury, the panel who are standing tall all together. So, a collective noun generally takes a singular verb when the subject stands for the collection as a whole. The crowd got restless. Now, we are talking about the crowd. There are many people in the crowd. They all togetherly got restless. The committee has approved the proposal. Now, just imagine the committee all togetherly has approved the proposal. The jury, who is again one unanimously, they are standing tall. So the jury is sure of the verdict. Now, let's learn some exceptions to the rule. The group were lost in the desert. The jury are divided on one minor point. Now, these two above examples, which are exceptions to the rule, happens only because the collective nouns group and jury which stand unanimously of individuals. But here you can see when the group were lost, when the people get lost, they get scattered, they go to different directions. Now they are not one team or one group. When the jury decides on a particular decision, the jury is sure of the verdict. In the previous sentence, let's go to the previous sentence. The jury is sure of the verdict, but here in the sentence, the jury are divided. They have different mindset, different thoughts, different ideas and different opinions. In that case, they have multiple ideas. So the plural verb is used with the plural subject. Now these are certain exceptions. You have to be going, it is very situational based on the sentences. If the sentence requires such understanding, you have to understand at that point and take the or choose the correct answer. Now the next rule is plural form subjects. Plural form subjects with a singular meaning takes a singular verb. Wow, again I've discussed all these things earlier like news, measles, mumps, physics, mathematics. These are certain terminologies from which if you remove the S from the last, it's very difficult. So they themselves stand with the S. the word news, you cannot say it as new, right? So news, measles, mumps, and physics and mathematics, they are plural form subjects with a singular meaning. They have the singular meaning conveyed. So whenever there is a singular meaning conveyed, what are we going to do? We are going to use a singular verb. Now, plural form subjects with singular or plural meaning take a singular or plural verb depending on the meaning and the situation of the sentence. The word politics, the word economics, these are certain terminologies. Again, it goes with if the demand of the sentence is singular subject with singular verb, it will go like that. If the demand of the sentence is plural subject with plural verb, it will go accordingly. Plural form subjects with a plural meaning takes a plural verb. Example, scissors and trousers. Now the scissors are on the table. Now we all know the word scissors. We generally use the word scissors with either like pair of scissors or a pair of jeans, or the word scissors is standing with an S. It is standing with a S. Now the scissors are on the table. The pair of scissors is on the table. Now here the scissors are on the table, but in the next sentence the pair of scissors is on the table. Now you have to be noting this exclusively. In this example, in the last example, the subject of the sentence is pair. Therefore the verb must agree with the word pair, which is a singular subject. Because scissors is the object of the proposition, scissors does not affect the number of the subject. Here the pair of scissors, so pair is the singular subject with which only and only the singular verb will go. Did you know what is the role of indefinite pronoun and gerunds in subject-verb agreement? If yes, otherwise, let me help you. Come. Indefinite pronoun. Here, there are some examples you can see. Everybody, anybody, nobody, someone. These are certain basic examples. A million of times you must have used them, but the basic idea is whenever we see such words like everybody, we use them with singular verb. Why? They denote the number of person, okay? Now here everybody wants to be pampered. It's an example. Everybody wants to be pampered. Nobody wants to be left out. You can see here nobody is the subject, the singular subject, and wants is the singular verb. So the singular verb goes with the singular subject as per the rules of subject-verb concord. Now, when I talk about gerunds, they also follow the plain simple rule, that is, for singular subject, it has singular verb, plural subject, it has plural verb. Example, playing is fun for me. Swimming is my passion. These are the examples of gerunds. But if I try to combine them in associating it with a conjunction and, playing football is my passion and partying with my friends are my hobbies. So think about it and stay tuned and keep learning. I hope you have understood this. And after this, we are going to do certain exercises. So let's see the exercises. Choose a correct form of the verb that agrees with the subject. Now the first one is Annie and her brothers dash at school. Now there are certain options given to you, the way it's given in the editing or fill in the blanks. Mostly your grammar portion covers up editing, omission, jumble sentences, fill in the blanks. These are the topics which come mostly. So now Annie and her brothers are at school. The first one I'm doing it for you. For the rest, you all are expected to do it with utmost sincerity. Have 20 to 23 sentences which you are expected to do. And on the last slide, you have the answer key. You all are requested not to check the answer key first, but do the exercise yourself. Thank you, students, for being such lovely listeners, and I hope you all have understood the topic of subject-verb concord really well, and you're going to practice the exercise thoroughly. And once you have completed, please tally the answers. Don't do before it. And all of you, stay home, stay safe, and take care of yourselves before we meet for the next class. Thank you. Bye-bye.